Hi everyone, Kim Flynn here. I'm here at this lovely place called Peace at the Pond. It's just about 20 minutes outside of Atlanta. It's a client of mine named Crystal. She's amazing and she has just built out this entire location. But what I want to talk to you about today is using the location in your trainings. And so a lot of times retreat leaders think, okay, if I'm at a location, I need to go into the main area and do all of my training there. And that just isn't the case. You want to switch things up almost every time you sit down for a circle group or for a training. And so we had a lovely sound bowl experience on the patio here. We just did a training in the main room. Now we're going to go in the basement. I'll show you these spaces in just a second. There's a yoga studio you could use, all kinds of different spaces. And so I really want to encourage you at your retreats to think not just in terms of, okay, here's my content, I'm just going to fit it into the space. Let the space guide you. And if there's a giant pond like here on Peace on the Pond, can you do an activity sitting around the pond? Can you do an activity with your feet sitting in the pond? Really use your environment. So let me show you some of these spaces and what you could possibly do in these spaces. So I'm down here on the shaded grass next to the pond. If you're doing yoga, for example, for one of your mornings, instead of just doing regular yoga, you could think, okay, what about this setting is different or unusual? And this is on a slope, if you can see that. What if you made it intentional and made what would be perceived as a negative, like, oh, we're a slope, there's no flat space to do yoga. Instead of that, what if we say, okay, we're gonna do hill yoga, which requires more dexterity and more core strength than flat yoga. And so you make it into an intentional thing. And of course you can do yoga overlooking the pond. So hill yoga overlooking the pond was what I would do here. So over here we have a set of stairs leading up into the woods. If you're doing any kind of growth or even like business training or what's the next step, you could have your attendees all line up on the base of the stairs. And every time they would move forward, they would go up a stair, right? And so that's a really visual example of growth, and you could have people move up the stairs as an example. Here's a fire pit. So fire pits are really common at retreat locations, and as they should be. There's a lot of releasing fire activities that happen a lot at retreats. And I've seen this done so many times. I've seen it done well, and I've seen it done poorly, and then I've done it, and I've done it poorly. So to make a fire ceremony really work, you need to slow it down. And so everyone doesn't just write on their sheet of paper what they're going to give up and then go throw it in the fire and it ends in 10 minutes. You really slow things down and you have people, sorry, I just climbed up the stairs and now I'm tired. You have people like really take time to share. The person I've seen done this the best is someone who comes to my retreats now, and she guides us through this fire ceremony, and she does this ritualized, and so it is done. And the whole group says, and so it is done. And it really just makes it kind of ceremonial. And so whenever you can do exercises like that are done a lot, and you've probably seen done before, if you can slow them down and make them more ceremonial, usually you'll have more power and impact in those fire ceremonies. This is another magical place at Peace of the Pond. This is the founder. This is Crystal.
Hey guys.
And she is doing exactly what retreat leaders should be doing in the break times, which is relaxing and restoring.
Yes.
And here at the Peace in the Pond, they have some really cool features. One of them is this beautiful labyrinth that the founder, Crystal, actually built herself with her husband. They placed every stone out there themselves. And so when you go to retreat locations that have these magical, extra special things, it's worth it to take out some of your precious content. And I know it feels like babies, right? Kill some of your babies, if you know that expression, and instead use the environment, because this is magic. Your content can happen everywhere, but you're not going to find a labyrinth at every retreat. So if you came to a place like this and there's a labyrinth, toss out something you're doing and build an exercise around what is in your environment.